This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Xavier Monroe. Welcome, Xavier Monroe, to the Queen Lizzie podcast.
Good to be with you, Queen Lizzie.
Okay, it's an honor for me to have you as my guest.
It's an honor to be your guest
Okay.
and to have learned from you over the years.
Okay. And Xavier is running for Florida.
House District 21.
Okay. Is it anything else you want to say?
Of course, Florida House District 21 goes from Melrose and Alachua County all the way down to Ocala and Marion County. It's a good piece of land with a number of needs. And so I'm looking forward to us talking about that today.
Okay. Well, you're on. If you want to talk about it now and tell us about your plans, what do you plan to accomplish? Let us know about the help you need and the help you are seeking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the donate button. So it's your show. Okay.
I'm just on the Queen Lizzie show, but I'm glad to be able to talk about all of that. I will say this is an interesting opportunity for our community to bring some change that we sorely need. Even though this district is parts of Alachua County and parts of Marion County, I'm letting folks know that I would love to be their voice in the state during these times. I think we need to stop some of what's going on and move some good things. So I ask people to say hey to me, Miss Lizzie.
Say what?
Hey.
Hate.
Hey.
Hate.
Hey.
Hate.
And so we got to stop the hate.
Hate. I despise hate. True.
And time's out for that. I think we have more in common than we don't. So I also ask people when they greet me to say, hey.
Okay.
And what does hey mean? It means healthcare, affordability, education, environmental stewardship, and smart growth. I think we can all agree that we need more of that. I think we can push some of that forward in our communities, particularly at the state level. And I ask folks to go to XavierForFlorida21.com.
Okay.
To learn more about what we would like to do. And that big contribute donate button is on the page, and the volunteer.
Most important, that donate button, because it takes money to run a campaign. Yes. He's looking for volunteers. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
I just had to reemphasize.
I agree. And when you say do something, people do it.
Yes.
So please
do it.
Go to the web page, learn more about what we're trying to do. Learn more on how to volunteer and contribute, because that's how we move. That's how any social movement moves forward, from civil rights, women's rights, and other folks' rights. And so looking forward to what we'll do in August and beyond that. The primaries in August. But
what's the date?
August 18th.
August 18th. Did you hear? Put it on your calendar. May I say something here?
Yes, ma'am.
You all, I'm talking to all of you. You sit here, you listen, and you agree. But there are some of you out there not registered. Okay? And I know this. How do I know? I have access to VAN. And I can pull up your name, your social security, your address, your everything. You are not registered to vote. And if you are registered to vote, I still can tell the last time you voted or the first time. So don't think that you are sitting here agreeing and hearing all of this good conversation and you are not doing your job. Your job is to vote, and we need to vote this year more than ever. Back to you.
Completely agree. Nothing really to add. We need to vote. We need to show up. These are rights that have been earned for our communities by our ancestors, and it's important. It's important. We don't get the health care that we need if we don't vote. We don't bring the cost of living down if we don't vote. We don't improve our educational systems if we don't vote. We don't protect our environment or grow in smart ways if we don't vote. And that takes us working together. I remind folks, this isn't Xavier's going to give you all the answers. This is what are we going to do together. And before the election and after, because we're believing we're going to get to Tallahassee to bring some of this change. And we stand on some important history. I look forward to talking about that with you. Because even though Levy County is not in the district, folks in Levy County help in pushing us forward because of the family roots there.
Yeah, your family roots are in Rosewood too.
Hey, I learned that from you.
Yes, and I was telling my guest before, and he knows everybody in Levy County too because he has done extensive research.
Okay.
And the Monroe's name is on my aunt's, not my aunt, Levy County's school board records, registration for the kid. Monroe, okay? And that is the truth. And I'm going to show this when I print my book. I don't show people the school record because people don't always tell the truth, and they'll get your information and they will abuse it. So there are certain things that I'm keeping private.
Yes, ma'am.
Until I do my book. But yes, you have a strong legacy in Levy County.
Yes.
Well, that's where you're from anyway, aren't you?
Well, my dad's family is from Levy County.
Yes.
He's grew up in Williston, Florida.
Yes.
And I just spent some time with him in Williston on MLK Day. And so it's important, one, that we have historical giants like you in our community so that younger folks know that history because we're losing it. And so I was so honored when you told me that so many years ago. I think I was a teenager as the NACP Youth Council president when you told me that. And you said you need to know your history.
Yes.
And so that's part of what this run is about too. Not forgetting our history and building on it.
Building on it because our young kids, they don't know it because they haven't been taught. It's not their responsibility. And that's why I work so hard to make sure I reach as many people as possible to help. History is who we are.
Yes, ma'am.
And especially Black history, I tell people Black history is American history. And it is. We built it. We lived it.
Yes, ma'am.
We sacrificed. So we need to come together and work together. And I'm not saying other people are not contributors to history, but I just want people to know how much we have contributed. And when I say we lived it as slaves, okay? All right. So we have a story to tell. And I don't want to take over anything else. I don't want to
tell. I know you were an educator, and I was an educator at Lake Forest, and then did some after-school teaching at Rollins and Karen and Sharon and Williams. And one of the things I distinctly wanted my students to realize, white or Black or Hispanic, is that there's a strong legacy of folks that came from hard circumstances and did something. So I work with the struggling readers, and I reminded them of folks like Matthew Louis or Josiah T. Walls or Sarah Hutchinson, that these folks were in some difficult times. Some of them came from slavery, and they learned how to read and lead.
Exactly. Especially Josiah T. Walls was a teacher there in Archer. And I just did a day. You came down. I just did a Josiah T. Walls day. He was a teacher there. Okay. And these people were not college. All of them were not college. It was common sense. They were not college graduates, but they were common sense. And I remember Josiah T. Walls, my mom told me, he only taught the men. Okay. And then the men taught their wives, their family. Okay. Because I know my grandfather learned to read from his father and Josiah T. Walls, and a Bible. That's the only book they had in the house. I still have that Bible. I just had it refurbished. Okay. And I love that Bible. And he has verses and content in that Bible that were very helpful, important dates, but they were hard workers and they learned to read. And we got to make sure our kids, okay, I'm very concerned about the next generation. Okay. And hopefully you will do what you need to do.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what we're believing. That's what we're planning on doing. When folks are hesitant to sign some of the petitions,
Yes.
I often they have their children next to them. I often tell them this is for you and your children.
Exactly.
Because we need to do better. We need to know better, and hopefully, when we know and do better, we'll be better.
Exactly. So if you all are sitting on the sofa today, get up. Register.
Yes, ma'am.
My dad would say, "What are you living for if you don't vote?"
Mm.
And he would also, another thing he often said, if you don't work, why are you living? You're not worthy to live if you don't want to work and pay for your own food. So get out there and vote.
Sound like you know my platform better than I do.
Been there. I have voted 60 times. Well, not 60, half of that. But for 60 years, I put it that way. I have voted for 60 years. I voted the first time in 1965.
Oh, wow. That's the voting rights era.
Exactly. Okay. And I was coming out of college in 61. Okay. And Dad made sure he drove me. Okay. I'm a grown woman in 65, but he drove me to the registration office to vote. And today I still live voting. Today I am the precinct chair in Archer. Okay. And I've been doing this forever. Before my mom died, all of her grands and great-grandchildren that were old enough at the time, she made certain they registered, and she made certain they voted because she strongly encouraged them. Today, they are still voting. When it's voting time, they call me, "Auntie, it's time to vote. Tell me who to vote for." I say, "Read." "Well, Auntie, we don't have time to read. Just tell me." Rather than knowing they are not going to read up on it, I do make a suggestion. Okay. Because that's better than not voting at all. "Thank you." And then they tell the other siblings, and I tell them, "Tell your friends, y'all need to vote." It's important. So what you say, I know your platform. I know what it takes. I know what it takes, and I know the benefits, okay, of voting, because we don't need people trying to ban our books, ban our history. This is our history.
Yes, ma'am.
Without history, I think I may have stated, but that's okay. We're nothing. And our history brings us together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Stand in solidarity with history because it's important.
And thank you for that. And it's always an honor to learn and be with folks that lived through the civil rights era.
Old people.
Well, no, I say seasoned people.
Okay, I like that.
Wisdom, and we can learn from that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we are going back to those times. People are trying to shape the way and other rights, and so it's important to learn. We know what the playbook is.
Yeah.
We just have to dust it off and add a few new plays.
That's right. And two, you were speaking of the civil rights. I was at St. Augustine. I posted today. I want you all to go to my website and look at Lizzie Robinson Jenkins. I posted about Butler's Beach today. Okay. When I was in college in 1957 to 61 in St. Augustine, there was a Butler Beach.
Now, was it like the black-owned beach? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been reading too. And I got an opportunity to sit at the lunch counter. Imaginary. But there were girls and boys that sat there. I was going to be next, okay, if they hadn't stopped it. But that was something to remember. I remember the KKK came in. The men were wearing steel-toe boots, guns, and dogs. They brought in that store where we thought we were hiding and safe, but we were not. So I remember that. So I feel honored to have been a part of history. It wasn't easy, but I didn't do it for me.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could do it all over again, I would do it all over again. It was for the people that we're trying to connect today. Okay? It's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History. I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
because a white woman lied and cried. A black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Xavier Monroe. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are back, and I would like to recognize our sponsors. As I said, this is the Meldon Law Podcast Room, but it's located at Steve Spurrier's restaurant. Okay, and Meldon Law is everything you want to be. Every lawyer you want to know. He is awesome. He's a community supporter. He supports the Gators. He's been working with them, I'm thinking, since 1970. He does the Student Athlete of the Week each week, and he is a gentle gem. He's one of my favorite people. I'm about to do a Rosewood telethon, and guess who is going to be one of the sponsors? Meldon Law. His son can't wait for us to do the first episode, because he said to me, my dad and his son is Kerry, and his dad, Jeffrey, he said, my dad is in charge of that. But Kerry, Melvin said, I will be one of your first supporters, and he is going to be supporting the Rosewood Museum that we are in the process of fundraising to start.
Okay.
So I have the Meldons. I have Steve Spurrier, a jewel. And when I tell you he's a jewel, he strongly supports Black history, or history, period. But when I said Black history, because I think they do special, they go out of their way to make sure Black history is told. And Freddie Weedy is the co-director and co-owner of the restaurant. Am I right? Zach?
Yeah, he's co-owner.
Okay. And that's Zach in the background. Zach is awesome, y'all. He is the producer of the show. He does an excellent job. You can't see his face, but he is great. He really is. And he keeps me focused. And thank you very much, Zach. And then we have our Jerry Bennett. Jerry Bennett is the director for the Campus USA Credit Union. And they are all great people. Don't forget, remember to patronize the brunch here at Spurrier's Brunch each weekend from 11 to 3. Best food in town. If you haven't been here, but you have been here and had breakfast, make sure you patronize them. They are great people. Okay, and I talked about the sponsors, and I feel like my mother is a sponsor too. She is my sponsor. She is my historian. She tells me what to do, although she is not here. But she left her legacy and she left her message. You must keep the history of Rosewood alive. Preserve it. Because the school teacher was her sister and survived the massacre in 1923, but she suffered for the remainder of her life. She never got used to or got over, as people would say, the Rosewood Massacre and the harm it did to her and to her mind and to her physically. So right now I'm not going to talk about that. because my mom said, you know, Black folks tells history, oral history through song. Like, what's the favorite song for We Shall Overcome? There's a message in that song. Okay. Swing low, sweet chariot. It was a message. It was a enslaved message that they were sending to other enslaved people, but the bosses, the slave masters didn't understand the meaning of our song. So I didn't know if you knew that. But most of the song is the spiritual, they call them Negro spiritualists, ma'am. Okay. There is a message, okay, in those songs. So just keep that in mind. And the Johnson brothers, I'm kind of changing right now because I've never said this before, but the Johnson brother that wrote the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, it's a entire story. That is a story, a beautiful story. He also wrote The Creation. It's a story. It tells a story. And my mom said, I'm going to write a song and you can help me edit it. It's a Rosewood song, 13 verses, but I only sing 3. But it tells part of Rosewood's story that she wants people to know, involving the sheriff, the store owner, and the Brights brothers. She wants to know that people were not all racist back then. If they were, they had humanitarian characters. Because had it not been for the Levy County Sheriff, and she loved that man. I do too. I have a lot of respect for him. Never met him, but he saved the lives of the Rosewood people because he knew Cedar Key was a peninsula, one way in and one way out. If he didn't get them out from Cedar Key, they would have died or suffered the agony of defeat. So she included these 3 methods, and you know what? 8th grade education, and when I tell people, Black folks are smart. I don't know how she was able to put the song together. It took her 2 minutes, and here I am trying to write. I said, Mom, you're talking too fast. She said, dictate. I didn't even know she knew what dictate meant. And here I am trying to, but when she finished the song, then we went back and together edited it and put it together to make sense and make it rhyme, because she liked to write poetry. I have so much poetry I need to get printed that my mom dictated to me. So the song goes like this, and she did remind me, I know you're not a singer, baby, but you need to put this together. The Cedar Key train conductors were told to pick up in Rosewood. Standing by the tracks with the lantern, his young school teacher stood, waiting in desperation to carry out the sheriff's plans, rounding up the hidden survivors to board the midnight train. The sheriff and the store owner worked around the clock. Oh, Lord, informed the train conductors just when and where to stop. Pick up the men, women, and children who were hiding out and bring them to Archer, Florida, traveling the same old route. Bob Walker and John Wright took on a daring risk, put the survivors on the train, Lord, and sent them off with a kiss. Notified the Gainesville families to be on the lookout for your kin. Told them the train was a-coming and told them exactly when. Now, that's her story, and she wanted people to know. And I hope you were able to figure out that standing at that tracks with a lantern was her sister. She was the director, and she worked directly with the store owner, John Wright, and his wife, helping to round up the older men, women, and children, okay, to make sure the train would stop in Rosewood when they saw the lantern, because they gave her a long black skirt and a lantern, and told her, when you see the flicker of the light from the train coming into Rosewood, we want you to move that skirt back and forth so they will know where to stop and pick up the men, women, and children. Oh, wow. And they jumped off the train to help them. And I called them my unsung heroes, and they were white men that lived in Cedar Key, and they said to the sheriff, Bob, we can't do it. We cannot risk our family lives to help you move anybody out. You know they will kill us. And he agreed, and they decided to
do the move or make the move at 4 a.m. in the morning when the devils were going to bed. I don't know if they were devils or not, but I don't know if they were bigots or not, so I'm not going to say that. But the people that would do them harm, they want to make sure they were asleep. Because I tell people, white people back then, white men back then were more afraid of KKK than we were. Because if they did something wrong, they would kill them too. And that's what happened to the Brights brothers. One of them, I know for a fact, his granddaughter told me in 1924, he was riding his horse in Viceville, and they spooked the horse, which broke his neck and killed him in 1924. So they didn't forget that. They fired the sheriff. He was without a job. I think they fired him in 1927. So he's the only sheriff in Levy County, and his picture is not on the walls. So they did not give him a Hall of Fame picture. But that's okay. We'll put it up in our letters.
Yes, man. You touched on so much there about our history, and it's our collective history too. And one of the things that I appreciated is you focused on the we. We are so much stronger together. And as you just said, there were some good white folks that saved lives.
Yeah.
And as you were singing, talking about some of the civil rights anthems of spirituals, there were some white folks and other groups that were singing, if you look at those photos in the video. And so this is about the collective. That's why I'm glad our campaign is a coalition of folks. I had to learn that from like the history you're sharing, but as you go from schools like Rollins and Bishop and Eastside to schools like University of Florida and University of Michigan and Stanford University, you have to know how to make friends with everyone and good, authentic, and meaningful folks. And I think that's how we find our ways into a new era where we're respecting the history. We have such a strong history. I always appreciate when you talk about our history. And particularly the Rosewood history, because that's an integral part of Florida history.
It is.
And we should learn from that as a people in the state. And,
It is.
and it reminds me of even like the sacrifices of like my grandparents who were cooks and cleaners at university when their own children, family couldn't get in.
Exactly.
And now, we've had several family members on both sides of my family graduate from UF, including a PhD.
Okay.
And
Use of your PhD?
from Stanford.
Okay.
But another,
that's okay. You have it.
I have it, worked hard, and it's a family effort that gets you there. And my parents worked hard for me to have that education. Had to fight sometimes. My mother made a career switch when I was in kindergarten to learn the system and helped a whole bunch of folks at Rollins in that community. So if you go to the benches at Rollins, you'll see the junior league and her name because they insisted that her name be on the books. Really? But that's the legacy that passed down.
The legacy. The legacy.
And so thank you for sharing that in the importance of music.
Yes.
And bringing us together and telling the stories.
Yeah.
And so it really is a we.
It is a we, and the people don't know it, but rapping started in Africa. Okay? Storytelling through rap. Oh, by the way, I have a rap out there. I want you all to look up my rap. It's called Listen Up Floridian. It's funny.
Okay.
You know what it's about? I'll tell y'all. It's about gerrymandering. And the song is awesome. I don't know how I did the song in 2010. I don't know how I put it together. I have an organ, and I remember turning the organ on, and it gave me some music.
Okay.
Like rap. I put the words to the music. It's awesome. I don't know how, and it's about Amendment 5 and 6, and I don't know how in the world I was able to do it. But I like it. But people have gone on, and they have had pictures and words to it trying to describe my song. But I think it's awesome. And I hope no one ever deletes it. I need to record it, put it on a video, because I had another video about gun violence. I can't find it, and they said it may have been deleted. But okay, and I didn't give the whites credit for the NAACP. They were co-founders of the NAACP. I'm thinking it was 5 or 6 people that help us. So we have always had the help working together as a team. And this is what we need to go back to. But it seems like people are trying to divide us.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, but we are at the close. So this, I'm going to give to you our time for closing remarks if you want to say anything.
Sure. And first, I want to thank the Queen Lizzie podcast. And you know, it's Miss Lee. I always call you Miss Lizzie. You know, that's an honorific in our community.
Okay.
For having me, inviting us to have this conversation. I love learning and talking history with you. You are a jewel in our community, and who knows how to rap.
I know how to rap.
But it's the embodiment of this run. It's not easy running for office. It's taxing, but for all of the reasons you've shared today is important, is needed, is worth it. And so please look up more information on the campaign, XavierForFlorida21.com. Please ask folks around town who've seen me in this work, from civil rights work to education, to being on the library board. And know that the legacy that we're talking about is what's fueling the change that we need to see for all of us, particularly those kept on the margin. And so, say, hey, healthcare, affordability, education, environmental stewardship, and smart growth, but no, the deeper purpose is what we've been talking about today. So thank y'all for having me. And thank you, Zach, for helping us as well.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to post our picture in a few minutes. And I want you to go to that picture when you see it, click on it and share it with your friends. Okay. We need to get our information out. This is more than about an election right now. What we talked about today is history and what we need to do to work together.
Yes.
Okay. To maintain democracy.
Yes, ma'am.
And diplomacy. Okay, I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily like you and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode number 144. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, goodbye. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it.